Welcome to the Ultimate Fight Breakdown. We are diving headfirst into the high-octane action coming your way from the Great White North as Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott prepare to clash in the main event of UFC Winnipeg. Cooper Albers has already analyzed the stats to give you his top pick 6 fantasy plays for this welterweight showdown, and the stakes could not be higher.
Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 mAh power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
The energy at the Canada Life Centre is absolutely electric after the ceremonial weigh-ins proved that Winnipeg is ready to show up for their 9 hometown heroes. While main event fighters Mike Malott and Gilbert Burns kept things cool during their stare-down, the atmosphere was thick with tension and anticipation for what is shaping up to be an unforgettable night of competition. The intensity went up a notch during the face-offs when Jasudavicius and Silva shared a fierce moment of pure focus before their women's flyweight bout. Meanwhile, heavyweight Tanner, the bulldozer Boser, brought absolute heat to the stage, nearly touching noses with his opponent Saricam in a display of pure aggression that has fans buzzing for the first bell. Gilbert Burns did not shy away from playing the heel, telling the Canadian crowd exactly what he plans to do to their boy Mike Malott when they meet in the center of the cage. With the home crowd fully behind Malott as he looks to join legends like Georges St. Pierre in the history books, this card is ready to explode. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel with the bell turned on so you never miss a knockout update. The Octagon is heading to the Great White North this Saturday, and the main event in Winnipeg is shaping up to be a defining moment for the welterweight division. We have Canadian favorite Mike Malott stepping into the bright lights of his first ever UFC main event against veteran Gilbert Burns. But before we get into who takes the win, if you're looking to add some real skin in the game, DraftKings Pick 6 is where you need to be. Let's break down the plays you cannot afford to miss. First up, let's talk about the headliner. Malott enters as a -270 favorite, and frankly, the momentum is all on his side. He's riding a 3-fight win streak, while the legendary Gilbert Burns is navigating a tough 4-fight skid where he's been consistently outclassed on the feet. Over his last 4 bouts, Burns has been outstruck by over 200 significant strikes. Look for Malott to leverage that home crowd energy and comfortably clear his 40.5 significant strike threshold over what could be a long night. Moving to the bantamweights, keep your eyes on Charles Jourdain. Since dropping down to 135, he looks like a completely different fighter, rejuvenated, precise, and aggressive. He's hit over 68.5 fantasy points in his last 2 outings and facing a fading Kyler Phillips, who is currently on a 2-fight slide. This feels like the perfect spot for Jourdain to stay hot. Don't sleep on the UFC debutant Mandel Nallo either. This guy is a highlight reel machine with a 100% finish rate and a background that screams future contender. He's taking on Jai Herbert, a veteran who has a real vulnerability to knockouts. This is the kind of matchup that feels tailor-made for a debut statement. Finally, keep an eye on Jasudavicius. People call her a brawler, but the numbers show she's actually a high-level grappler who averages over 2.5 takedowns per fight. Her opponent, Silva, has struggled immensely to stop the takedown, getting grounded at least 3 times in each of her last 3 fights. That makes Jasudavicius an incredibly high-floor play for your Pick 6 set. Ready to get in on the action? Head over to the DraftKings Pick 6 app or website, lock in your favorite picks, and see if you can take home a share of the prizes. Just remember to play responsibly. 1-800 Gambler is there if you need it. Which of these fighters are you locking into your lineup, and who do you think is going to shock the world in Winnipeg? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more elite Fight Night breakdowns. Ever wonder what happens when a city is starved for high-stakes action? Winnipeg is currently buzzing with an intensity you can actually feel, as the Canada Life Centre prepares to host UFC Fight Night. Burns versus Malott. Now, even with WrestleMania weekend dominating the global headlines, the local crowd in Canada didn't get the memo. They showed up in full force to support their 9 hometown heroes, especially their main event star, Mike Malott. Speaking of the main event, don't expect a grudge match here. Both Malott and Burns have been locked in a silent, professional stare-down every time they meet. It is all business. However, if you are looking for that classic MMA friction, the flyweight clash between Jasudavicius and Silva delivered some serious mean mugging that reminded everyone just how high the stakes really are. Even the heavyweights got in on the action, with Tanner, the bulldozer Boser, getting right in Saricam's face. We are talking nose-to-nose intensity. After the adrenaline rush of the last few weeks with Moicano versus Duncan and the absolute masterclass that was UFC 327, the pressure is on for this card to keep the momentum rolling. Can it really be 3 in a row for top-tier action? There is only one way to find out. Head over to MMA.com to track all the finishes and live updates as they unfold in Winnipeg. It is going to be a long night, but in this sport, the best moments are usually the ones you never see coming. Ever wonder what it sounds like when an entire city decides to put a sport on their back? The energy inside the Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg was absolutely electric during the ceremonial weigh-ins for UFC Fight Night, proving that, while the rest of the world might have eyes on WrestleMania this weekend, Canada is ready to throw down. Even with the global spotlight shifting elsewhere, the local crowd showed up in force to support the 9 Canadian warriors on this card, with main event star Mike Malott getting the kind of heroes welcome that only a hometown crowd can provide. Watching the face-offs, you could feel the intensity building. Malott and his opponent, Neil Magny, kept things surprisingly professional. It was almost like they were staring through each other, saving all that kinetic energy for the cage. But if you were looking for fireworks, the women's flyweight clash between Jasudavicius and Silva delivered. That was pure, unfiltered intensity from the jump. And shout out to heavyweight Tanner, the bulldozer Boser, who practically went nose-to-nose with Saricam, making it clear that tomorrow night is going to be a violent affair. We have been spoiled lately with back-to-back weeks of incredible fights, and the question is whether we can make it a hat trick of greatness with this card. Make sure to head over to MMA.com for all the live results and post-fight highlights as they happen. In a sport where inches and seconds determine legends, tomorrow night in Winnipeg is where the next chapter of Canadian MMA gets written. Are you backing the hometown hero, or does the underdog have a surprise in store? Ever wonder what happens when a fighter decides to walk into the lion's den and actively poke the lions? Well, Gilbert Burns just gave us a masterclass in playing the ultimate heel at the UFC Winnipeg weigh-ins. As the crowd gathered to cheer on their hometown hero, Mike Malott, Burns didn't just stand there. He turned up the heat, looked right at the Canadian crowd, and promised to smash their boy. The result? An arena full of boos and a whole lot of tension. It is a bold move, but honestly, it is exactly the kind of energy we need for a main event. On one side, you have Malott, a Canadian fighter standing on the precipice of greatness, clearly overwhelmed by the magnitude of headlining in his own country. He spoke with such genuine gratitude, and you could feel the electricity in the air as the fans backed him up. He is following in the footsteps of legends like GSP and Rory MacDonald, which is no small feat. Then you have Burns, the gritty veteran who is completely unfazed by the hostile environment. He is leaning into that villain role, and you have to respect the confidence required to stand on a stage and tell a country that you are about to dismantle their favorite son. Will this mental warfare play into Saturday night's performance, or will the energy of the home crowd give Malott that extra edge he needs to pull off the upset? We are about to find out at the Canada Life Centre. What do you think? Will the home field advantage be enough to stop a shark like Burns, or is he just too experienced for the moment? Drop a comment below with your predictions and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update on the fights that matter. After all, in the Octagon, it does not matter how loud the crowd screams. It only matters what happens when the cage door locks.